Hi all, and welcome to CodeCorp, and welcome to the another video on Java 8 series. So this is basically the interview series that we are working upon, that we are following, and the topics that I have discussed yesterday. I have just listed some of the topics that the interviewer asks mostly in the Java 8 interviews. So I have already explained in my previous video about lambda expressions and functional interfaces. So if you have not, if you don't have any idea about that, just watch the previous video in the same playlist. Okay. So in this video, we'll be covering some of the inbuilt functional interfaces that we do have in Java dot function, Java dot util dot function library, and those are the also ones that are generally asked in the interviews. Like, what are the inbuilt function interfaces? Have you heard of like predicate, functions, consumers, by consumers? You must have also heard these names. Okay, so today I'll be explaining all of these, and also in this video only we'll be covering the method references as well. Okay, then in the third video that will be totally based on the stream API, and in the fourth video we'll be explaining optional class and new return time API. So this will be a very short video, about like 2-3 or maybe maximum 5 minutes. In that only we'll be able to explain the optional classes and all. So the most important video of this series would be like this stream API series. And to complete this stream API video, you have to go through like what is lambda expression, what are the functional interfaces, what are the method referencing and all. Okay, so we'll be also covering some real-time interview questions based on stream APIs and functional interfaces. So yeah, so let's dive into the today's video. So today we'll be discussing about the built-in functions that are there in Java util function library, and those are predicate, functions, consumer, supplier, urinary operator, binary operator. So predicate takes any kind of data as an input, and it will just check whether the data is true or the thing that you are writing, is it true or false. So it will take here as data, and based on one lambda expression it will be checking whether the data is true or false. Okay, and here in this function we generally will pass one integer and will produce some result. So this will be always be returning boolean. A predicate will always be returning boolean, true or false. Function will be returning some value, whatever we will write here in the result. We can have integer or double or string or anything based on this is the input and this is the output. We can also have both the same, like same input and same output we can have. Consumer is generally it is a function in which we generally produce some data, and we write some lambda expression, and then we give the values to that lambda expressions. Suppose I'm writing a message like hello world, and in the lambda expression I'm doing that message arrow system.out.print lambda message. Then in that case consumer, what it will do, it will pass that variable to that lambda expression, and then it will be printing that. So that is consumer, and the opposite to that is supplier. So I'll be explaining each one of them through the code as well. So yeah, so it will be better to understand, like it will be easy to understand with the code only. So let's dive into the Eclipse. Okay, so in my previous video I have created this lambda expressions and all, and functional interfaces and lambda expression I have explained earlier. So we'll do this in the same class. We'll do some changes, or we can create a separate class here in this package only. And okay, let me create a separate class. Okay, source package is this, package name is this, and the class name is inbuilt functions. Okay, and I am adding the main method as well. Okay, so it is created. Okay, so first let me tell you about predicate. Okay, so predicate is nothing. It is a boolean value function of one argument. So generally we pass one argument in predicate and we get a boolean output. Okay, so if you will go inside, if I am starting declaring a predicate method here, predicate, if I will do control click, you can see the Java util function is coming here. So in this function library only we'll be having all these predicates and functions and all. And this is you must be thinking like, what is this, whether it should be integer or a string or anything else, but what is the T? So T is a generic, by generic which we means like if you are defining something as predicate string, okay, then this is bound to a particular value, like this class will only take strings and all. But using the generics we can write it anything here, double or integer, anything. That is the use of generic. So you can write any letter here, and you will be good to go with any kind of data that you want to insert in predicate. Okay, I'll be also providing you a link in the description for the generic. So you must go through that video and you will be having a good understanding, in-depth understanding of the generics. Okay, so I'll provide you a link in the comment section, in the description. Okay, where we like we are having like predicate I have declared. Suppose this predicate will take integer. Okay, this will predicate will take integer as input, and here I am giving it a name predicate, and here I am writing the lambda expression that I want to perform with this. Okay, suppose I'm checking whether a integer is even or odd. So suppose if I am giving here a name is even, okay, I'm giving a name. If even, then return me true, otherwise return me false. So what do I have to do? I have to write a logic here. So here, this is my data. This is on the left side. You pass the parameter, whatever integer you are gonna pass, it is here, and you will provide an arrow. And here you will be passing your expression to compare like whether it is a based on this expression. If this expression results true, then this will be a true, otherwise it will be a false. So your whole output depends on this expression that I'm gonna write here. So I'm gonna write like x modulo 2 equal to 0. So here you can see like I'm passing here, and if this condition is true, then return me true, otherwise return me false. Okay, so to test this, we have one predicates, I would say like predicates function. If you go here, it will take test. So it take anything as an input and return the boolean value. So this is the method inside test. So if I will go inside and I will do like system.out.print. If I am writing here system.out.print ln and tell me is even dot test, I am passing here 10. Okay, so this must return a true because it's an even number. Okay, so it's returning a true. Similarly, if you are passing 11 and you can see your condition is not getting satisfied, this one, then it will be returning a false. So that is the only use of predicate, you can say. Okay, and one more thing that comes in the predicate, that is like predicate chaining, that I'm just now gonna explain to you like what is that. So suppose here is I'm having this predicate which is checking me whether it is like even or not. Okay, suppose I'm creating another predicate that is checking me if the number is greater than 10. Okay, so I'm writing another predicate line here, predicate interface. I will be writing again. So is suppose I'm writing greater than 10. Okay, I'm writing like this. Okay, so what it should return, like it should having an expression. If it is greater than 10, then only it should return false. If it is greater than, then only it should return true. So if I'm writing like this here, 10 like this, if I will write, then it will return true. So okay, I am changing this logic to this greater than 10. So if my condition is satisfied, then I'll be getting the output as true for this one. Okay, so if I am passing is greater than 10, if I'm printing it again here, then I'll be getting some output. Okay, if I am is greater than 10 is a test, then this will be returning true as well. Okay, the above one is returning false and the below one will return true. Okay, so you can see this is returning true. So what is the chaining and what are the chaining methods that we do have? Okay, so one of the chaining method that we do have is if I am writing here like suppose I am writing like this. Okay, so this is testing it. Like suppose I am writing is even. Okay, suppose I am writing here, I am creating another so I am creating another predicate is even, or I would say or is greater than 10. Okay, or greater than 10. So what I will do in this, I don't have to write again the whole conditions. What I will do, I will just copy this is even, and I will just click dot, and you can see I am having all the methods here. So or, negate, and I am having, so or I will pick or, and I will be pass again this second one. Okay, so if both the conditions are satisfied, then this will return me a value based on that only. So suppose I'm testing it again, and if I'm writing here like is system.out.print is even or greater than 10. So if it is even or otherwise it is greater than 10, then it will return true. And if it is not even and it is greater than less than 10, then it will return a false. So in this case it will return a false. Here see, you can see it is returning. And if I will do like 8, then it will return a true because it is even. Either it should be even or it should be greater than 10. So now it is 8, that is means it is even, so it will return true here. And if it is greater than 10, then it doesn't matter, whatever the value is, it will return true always. Okay, so this is called predicate chaining. One more function is that we have is negate. So that will generally suppose I'm giving the is odd here, then what I have to do, I don't have to modify this logic. What I have to do, I will just copy this is even, and I will do like dot negate only. So this will be having the opposite value of this. Okay, so if I will test this like is even, is odd, test 13, then what it will check, it will go to the even first and will check if it is even is returning true or false or not. If it is returning false, then the negate will change that value to true. Like if it is returning false, then negate will change the value to true. If it is returning true, then negate will change the value to false. So here you can see if I am testing with this one, the 13, then it will go inside first even and it will be returning false. Then the negate will work on is even and it will change it to true. Okay, so now you can see the true is the output. Okay, so this is the pretty much everything about the predicate and its chaining. Okay, so I think we are done with this, and let's now let's move it towards the what I will say like second topic was function. Okay, so function in function generally what we do, we have one input and we give two parameters in function generally. One is input and one is output. So let me show you how. So function, suppose I am giving function here, function. So it is the input and this is the output, this is the result. So if I am giving input as string, so if I am giving input as string, okay, so if I'm giving input as a string and here you can see I am giving the output as integer. Okay, integer. Okay, and so what I would say, like it is taking one string and it is returning me the output. So I can do anything, like I can find the number of characters of any letter in that string. I can find the length of that string. So all these output will be in integer. So we do have to declare it like this. So if I am declaring and I am finding as length I'm declaring, and if I am writing it as like it will take a lambda expression. On the left side will take the parameter. So this is the parameter. So I will say like x, it is taking x, or str, maybe anything you can give. And on the right side of that you can give the calculation of that particular thing. So if I am doing like if s dot length, str dot length, I am doing length, then it will be returning an integer, and that integer will go inside this and it will be giving us the output. How to test this? We have one function apply. In the function we are having this apply method. So like that we were having test in the predicate, also like that only we have apply in the case of function, this function. Okay, so what I want to check now, system dot out system.out.println, and if I am being like len and gts dot apply, and I'm passing any string, like suppose I'm passing code for, so it will check the length and will return me an integer value. Okay, so see, it is returning 8. And if I am passing here like double, then what will happen? Let's check. So see, the length function itself does not return, it only returns int. So that's why the issue is happening. If we change, let's try if we can change typecast this to double. Let's see if we can do that. I think we are having some issue here, or we can do it like let me try to typecast it. Yeah, it is happening. So typecast is working. So now this will return me a double value. Some points will be there. You can see the output is now getting in the doubles only. Okay, so now the third thing comes, that is consumer. Okay, so here we have explained predicates, and here we have explained function, and now we'll move toward consumer. Oh, that is the next thing we have, right? So we have covered predicate, functions, now consumer. Okay, so let's move toward consumer. Consumer is nothing. It's just accept some of the operations and accept it. It like accept some of the input and do a operation on that. Okay, so that is the work of consumer. Suppose it's taking I would say, like, suppose consumer is taking one input, like suppose it's taking one string, and the operation will be like it is printing that string. Okay, suppose consumer is taking a string, and suppose it's printing the length of that string, so that will be the operation, and the input will be like consumed item. So consumer, as the name suggesting, it will consume some item, will do anything with that. First it need to have one item and then do some operation on that item. So how to declare a consumer? Let me tell you. Consumer we can declare using consumer keyword. Consumer, and here you can see what check again the generic point is coming. You can again declare it any type of consumer that you want. Suppose it is taking a string as an input, then you can create a string, and whatever you want to do with that, like print a string. Suppose I am doing print string. Okay, and here I will write the logic. Suppose string is the item that it is gonna consume, and here I am performing the operation on that. So suppose I am performing system dot out dot println, and here I am returning the string. Okay. So in this scenario, we have one method like in consumer also, like in function we were having the apply method, in predicate we are having the negate method. So in case of this, we will be having one method that is accept. What it does, it returns nothing, it accepts some value and do the calculation on that. So the return type of this was whatever we give here. Okay, apply, the return type of apply is whatever we give here. It is a generic return type. Whatever we give here, it will be replied with that. And is even the return type will be return type was boolean. Okay, so now in the case of consumer, the return type is nothing. It will, because it will consume and do the things or do anything with that particular thing. Okay, so here if I will write the system dot out dot print, here if I will write like print string dot accept, if you will write like here print ln, suppose printl, what's wrong with this? Okay, we cannot pass this here because it is already in void, it's returning void. So we can directly call print string dot accept CodeCorp. Now this CodeCorp will go to this string, and in this consumer operation it will get printed. Okay, so if you will run this again, then you will be getting this output. Or you want to perform any number of tasks here, like multiple lines of tasks you want to perform here, so you can do that as well. Okay, so suppose I want to first print the string, and then I want to print the dot println length. You can perform multiple tasks here as well. Always you can perform, like yesterday I have told you, like in lambda expression we can write multiple expressions as well. So first, now what will happen, it will first print that string and then print the length of that string. So here you can see that. Okay, so the multiple operation can also be performed inside that lambda expressions area. Okay, so the consumer is also done. So now we'll